All right. So AI right now is being treated as a prediction machine because that's technically what it is. All it does is predict stuff. You give it a certain set of data and it tries to find a pattern. It makes a prediction and then you tell it whether this prediction was right. It gets some kind of feedback. That's how all AI systems work right now. This is Connect the Dots, the AI Impact Podcast. I'm Christoph Burkhardt. Welcome to the show. But the really interesting thing is when you put that as a system solution, not as a point solution, but as a system changer, a disruptor, as a technology that really has features that can disrupt how businesses are running, you put that into an existing organization. And now out of sudden you see certain shifts. And one major shift, this is my good friend Torsten Heilig from Paredes has written an entire book about this, and it's fantastic, highly recommend it. It's called Decision Intelligence, because everything in an organization, everything in a business can be broken down and narrowed down to moments in which people have to make decisions about certain ways forward. Sometimes there are just two options. Sometimes there are thousands of options. Sometimes there is a lot of ambiguity. Very often there's complete uncertainty. And the more we help prepare those decision moments, the better we will long-term see the business flourish, or in case of very bad or poor decision-making, you see them collapse. And the interesting thing is, if you put AI into the system, what's its job? What is it going to do? Is it going to help make decisions? Is it going to help prepare decisions? What is decision intelligence? And the interesting thing here is that, of course, decisions will always be something that humans need to do. And this is not easy for a machine to make a decision on a complete uncertainty. Even if you apply a probabilistic system where, okay, the AI looks at certain options and it can figure out that some scenarios of the future are more likely than others. So one option is a dominant option versus other options that are not the right fit for the moment. This still has to be trained on factors that we have to make decisions about, meaning that whatever you train the AI in the factors that it uses to make a prediction, it really is based on a decision that ultimately a human had to make in training the AI. So we will never get off the hook for responsibility of making decisions that a machine can copy the way we make this decision, but it cannot make the decision in the way a human can. And this is interesting now to look at organizations and businesses as a network of decisions. Right, you have databases, there are certain factors that influence how we make these decisions. There is a certain way we predict the future, and based on the future scenarios that we get, we break down what the AI can do today to help, or which scenario is the best to go forward in. But the question is the AI in the decision moment, is it a support system? Is it a prediction machine? Is it a data lake? It kind of is all of this if you let it be. But if you look at an organization as a network of decisions and you rethink the organizational structure, then it's not the job anymore to feed information from the bottom of the organization all the way up to the decision makers. And then they break down and make a decision about the future of this organization. And then this future either happens or it doesn't happen. But then the results break again down to the bottom line. Now we have a way of looking at organizations as a set of decisions that are not made at the top and fed by the bottom, but that are all linked. So every decision that everybody, everywhere in the organization makes can be improved by AI. Let's take one example from a client in logistics. So if fraud in logistics is a case that you're interested in, because it's very expensive when fraud happens, and we talk everything from identity theft to stealing actual stuff, stealing a load from a carrier. So there's a lot of action points where AI can come in to help humans make better decisions in the process so fraud doesn't happen. But you see, this is not a support system for the top of the organization. This is a support system for every little tiny decision that is being made across the chain, the supply chain of logistics. So there are certain processes and then there are certain decision moments. And AI always comes in analyzes the entire process, and then helps you make the decision in the right moment. That decision point, though, that moment where you make the decision, can be drastically improved if a machine can help you sort out the options, sort out the basis of what you're going to do, and help you figure out what likely future scenarios look like in which certain options become dominant versus others. The point, though, and this is super important to realize, is that we should not think of AI as a decision maker in those moments. Just because AI gets really good at predicting things for that moment that we make the decision doesn't mean that these decisions are made by the machine because it has figured out which option is the dominant option. Because there are still factors, there's still underlying layers, and there are things about human behavior that the machine cannot predict because they are simply unpredictable, that require a human to understand what the machine and why the machine has predicted certain things for a certain scenario. And now we can come in and say we rewrite that decision, even though this option looks dominant. In this case, it is not, because there's a misjudgment about what humans might do in that new scenario. So looking at this, it is incredibly complex to make these decisions, but AI can help in certain areas to drastically improve the quality of decisions, and this should be a major target for AI across the board.